We're back, people, and today we're going to film on Jevon Holland, Miami Dolphins safety, and he's really proving, to be the backbone of this defense. He's really becoming special in the Vic Fangio scheme. It's really allowing him to show off his big-time strengths, because last year, I feel like, just playing as, like, that single high, deep safety all the time, it just didn't allow him to really get involved and shine. Like, he's pretty solid playing as that single high free type, but playing a lot in quarters. I mean, Dolphins are in a lot of cover 6, cover 8, and Holland is being like the safety to the quarter side a lot of the time, and it really allows Holland to be more involved in coverage, match the number 2 receivers at time. He can come down in the slot. He's getting down in the box and being involved a lot more in the run than he usually was last year, and he's just making an impact from multiple different alignments and a lot more often than he was last year. As you can see here, Dolphins running quarters to the top of the screen here. He's just reading 2-1, 2 pushes up vertically, and he's like now seeing Mac Jones escape, and once he sees him escape the pocket, roll this way, he sticks that foot in the ground and closes, and you can just see that initial burst, and then the ball skills to knock that ball out at the point of attack. This is near the end of that Patriots game. It was a huge deflection on that, near the end of the game, and it was a very high-level play by Holland. He made multiple impact plays through these first 2 weeks. Holland getting involved in the running game a lot. Dolphins rotating into a cover 3. He's coming down to be buzz defender in coverage, but then he becomes a box guy too. He has a fit in the running game. He reads run initially. I believe it's Gesicki trying to block him, cut him off, but he just stays square, uses his hands to keep his chest clean, gets control of this side of him so he can, create that separation, stack and shed, and limit this to a 1-yard gain on second and 2 situation, coming downhill from this alignment to get involved and help limit this to a 1-yard gain, filling up in that gap right there. Very good work by Holland. He was very impressive versus the run in this game. They allowed him, because after they got gashed by the Chargers in week 1, they played a lot of too high in that game with Herbert at quarterback. This game, they really, were able to allow Holland to be more involved versus the running game, and that definitely helped with their efficiency versus the run. Holland still against the run. These are back-to-back play sequence here, 2nd and 1. He just comes down, beats the wide receiver. He's recognizing these plays, these tight ends, these wide receivers, trying to, get to him at the second level, cut him off, but he's recognizing these plays too quickly, and just helping, limit this run. Sees, this is coming, this gap's opening up, feeling Bourne trying to cut him off, so he just gets down, gets square, drops that shoulder into him, but everything, keeps a good square, good base, good core strength not to get moved out of the way here, and then forces Stevenson to try to squeeze through this gap right there, and everyone sort of meets him at the point of attack to limit him to a no gain, and then he makes the even bigger play up next. Then they try to run the toss on 3rd and 1. I don't know why they did this, but Holland keys that, the opening space, and just gets downhill, the burst, instinctive. Love seeing him be instinctive near the line of scrimmage. Lined up head up over this tight end. He's just looking into this backfield right here, seeing what's going on, scanning the play. He's a very instinctive player, feels the flow of the offensive line, and once this guy starts to really pull out, he can feel the running back, his angle taken here, so he just closes instantly, makes that play in the backfield for a huge 4-yard loss on a 3rd and 1 near midfield, and then that forces them to punt this after that. It's just a huge, shift in momentum type of plays that Jevon is making for this defense, proving to be special where no matter where he aligns. Another 3rd and 1 situation, he actually gets pulled down here by the play action, and the ball gets completed here, but that's not his responsibility. It should have been the curl flat defenders, but he's a hook defender here. So this is some pretty instinctive play to get out of this. Ended up taking away this deeper throw to the tight end here, because that was his zone right here. He'd have been a hook buzz type of player, get in that throwing lane. Now they just did their job better down here in the flat. That would have been taken away as an option, but he ended up doing his job pretty perfectly. Nice instincts, feel for the play, knows that with the flow of the quarterback that it's always going to be a flat, but there's always a second option behind it. They have a high-low concept, and he gets in his spot to do his responsibility on that one. Your next play, he just gets matched up on the number 2 on the backside of this empty. Dolphins are just basically in a version of 3 match, so he's basically just man-to-man. Unless number 2 goes to the inside off rip here, but with this guy blitzing, I just believe he's pretty much just man wherever this guy goes. He tries to hit the slot fade. This is a receiver. You can see him recognize this. Just based on his hips, this guy, the angle that he's taking, Holland opens up. You can tell he just knows the exact route that's coming. He maintains perfect positioning. Guy almost makes an insane catch, but he squeezes him to the sideline, uses that to his advantage. He tries to locate and find the ball, but it's thrown on the back shoulder. Could have maybe played it a tiny bit better at the catch point, but that is really good coverage down the field, not allowing separation as a free safety type versus a one-on-one with a lot of space versus a wide receiver. That's really good coverage. I really like seeing him as like a quarters buzz defender in cover three, just being more involved in these concepts, taking away the middle of the field and things. Dolphins are in cover six here, and he's on the backside of a 3-by-1, and he's just basically, they call this like tricks in the backside safety on quarters here. We'll just low read in the QB, but you'll find the number three working across the field. He's trying to bait this throw to Parker, and he's ready to find the number three, working to his zone, absolutely shut that down, distribute the route perfectly, plays it very very nicely, just good overall stuff in coverage. I really like him in this defense. He just looks so comfortable in these coverages, and I just feel like he's going to be more and more involved at the catch point in this season compared to last one. Dolphins disguising a too high look, split field look, either quarters, maybe cover two, and he comes down, and look how much he closes that space, limits this catch. Like, I mean, it's Gesicki, he's not going to pick up a bunch after the catch, but look how deep he is right here pre-snap, and he's rotating down, just replacing Kohu, because I believe that's Kohu, and he's blitzing right there. So he's just got to replace him and match number two, and he does. Takes a good angle, no yard after catch opportunity, closes this space very quickly, and I know it's a completion, you give up that catch, but you definitely take that with how much space was taken. They threw it hot. Like, that's your hot option. This guy blitzes, you throw it right there right away, and you should be expecting to get a lot more yards when that type of thing is completed very quickly, and Holland does a great job of limiting the yards after catch opportunities. Holland has really just been all over the field, identifying the screen right here, getting downhill, disguising like a too high look pre-snap again, making it look like it could be quarters, cover six, that type of thing. He's coming down to buzz in the middle, but he's reading this, feeling the flow, seeing the offensive lineman work out, so he snaps his head to find it, takes a good angle, gets there so quickly that the offensive lineman doesn't even have a chance to block him, and then limit that to just a few yard gain because of his recognition ability. He's a very smart football player. Mental processing is off the charts. One of the more important players on this Dolphins defense, especially like him and Kohu have probably the most responsibilities on the back end in this defense currently. So they're very important to this scheme, and it's like the nickel and like that main safety are your kind of like the top players usually in that Fangio system, and they are very much stepping up. And I really like I expected Holland to play really well, and he's definitely playing to my expectations. Holland down in the box in the red zone. They saw this happen versus the Chargers in week one when he did come down in the box and he was making some good plays. It didn't happen as often in this game, but here you get to do that with the motion pre-snap, and they're down in the red zone. He's just recognizing this, sees that he could fill in right here into that gap, but once he sees sort of Eckler commit, tries to bounce this back out. He stays disciplined, fills up through, gets the tackle. Also, good job by Chubb setting the edge and just being a solid fit into the run defense, understanding your responsibility. He doesn't overcommit here. It looks like Eckler might try to hit through there, but he still stays disciplined. And if Eckler was to clear and hit this gap, he could still bounce over and make a play. It's just good, smart football play from Holland. Those were all the plays that I wanted to break down on Jevon Holland. Just going to show that first clip again while I talk, basically. But yeah, just very important to the defense. This scheme really allows him to be involved. He has a lot of responsibilities. Vic Fangio really trusts him. You can tell it's just from his interviews. He's one of the guys that he really does like back there, because usually he's very critical. He's a very hard-nosed guy, and he definitely tells the truth, but he only usually has great things to say about Jevon Holland. And you can definitely see it. He just has all the traits that you look for in a great safety with his instincts, mental processing, athleticism. He has the range. He's got good size to his game. He can get physical, play down in the box. Usually when it comes to safeties, I would like them to be two of the three. Either, a guy that can come down and play versus run, be physical, make tackles. That's one thing. Cover right, like receivers, tight ends, and man-to-man. That's the second. And the third, playing deep, middle of the field safety, being instinctive back there, have the range to do that. And I feel like Holland's one of those guys that can do all three of those at all pretty high level as well. So definitely has the making to be elite, and he's shown the flashes there in the past. Now let's see if he can do it for this full season, because I do think he has that potential. So if you guys know the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.